and my exam is on Tuesday of the week after next week.
Oh. Okay.
So if we could schedule anything, it's probably going to be.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm wide open after today.
Okay. Well, I'll let you know.
Yeah, it's like today is my last day with any appointments. So anything you need over the next week or two is going to be open.
Okay. Let's do it
Alright.
then. That same practice test that we were doing yesterday.
Okay. You want me to open it up?
Yeah.
Refresh me as to where we left off.
I believe we were at after 4, I think. So we go to the next page, I think.
Right. We did 4A. Alright. So let's look at 4B. Now, first of all, is this a vertical or a horizontal parabola?
What, B or A?
Number B. We did A yesterday.
That would be a horizontal.
Good.
No, wait. Yeah.
No, you're right. In other words, the vertical is always the first one you learned, which is that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's when I say that, I mean that's the form. It's y equal x squared or x equal y squared.
Uh-huh.
Okay? That form is x equal y squared. And that's horizontal. In other words, if you can see the difference, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, knowing that it's horizontal, give me the general equation. That's always where you want to start math problems.
I'm not sure.
Okay? Well, the general equation is this. X minus h times 4p equals y minus k squared.
Yeah.
In other words, it has to fit the horizontal, which is x equal y squared. Well, this is going to produce an x equal y squared. And the way they've given it to us is not quite like this. So what do I have to do to that equation to get it into this format?
You have to, let's see. You have to,
Multiply both sides by 20.
okay.
Okay, here's what's going to happen. If I multiply the right side by 20, I get this. I'm going to write it on the left because that's where our general format is. And the right side is just y plus 6 squared. See how I get from this to this. Multiply both sides of this equation by 20.
Wait, repeat that?
Multiply your original equation, multiply both sides by 20, and switch sides.
Uh-huh, yeah. So,
now I switch sides for one reason only, but make sure you follow my logic.
yeah, you switch sides to make it fit the equation, or like the
Exactly.
formula.
I'm trying to fit the general format.
Yeah.
And in the general format, the x minus h is on the left. The y minus k squared is on the right. So that's why I switched sides. With me?
So far.
Okay. Now notice that that's very similar to the general format. Tell me what P is.
P is 1. Wait.
It's almost exactly like the general format.
Yeah, it's 4 because you have to time it by
20 equals 4P. So P equals 5.
5.
In other words, this has to equal that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, tell me where the vertex is.
The vertex is
We
at
actually
5.
have it. We kind of have it in vertex format.
Is it -5 comma -6?
Yeah. And once you know P and the vertex, well, you know a lot. For one thing, I knew that this was a horizontal parabola. Does it open to the right or the left?
It opens to the left because it's negative.
The right is positive, the left is negative. We don't see any negative signs here. That's not negative, that's positive 20. So it opens to the right. Okay. The vertex is at -5, -6. See how I get that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know it opens to the right, so it's that kind of a parabola.
Wait. Oh yeah, when it's minus, it opens to the right because it's yeah.
Well, it opens to the right because A is positive.
Yeah.
Or I should say 4P is positive. Now, the fact that it opens to the right and P equals 5 means the focus is right there. In other words, it's positive 5 units to the right of the x-coordinate.
Is the vertex supposed to be like a little off-center?
Well, don't pay any attention to how I drew it.
Yeah. Okay.
Pay attention to how I labeled it.
Yeah.
In other words, it's -5, -6. I don't necessarily draw these things to scale. And the reason is I don't want to take the time to draw it to scale. It's not important to have it drawn to scale. What's important is the general shape and the coordinates of the point. Well, the points are clearly -5 because of that and -6 because of that. So I know the vertex. has got to be at minus 5 comma minus 6. And I also know that P, which is called the focal length, which is this distance right here, that's P, is 5, because 4P is 20. So P has to be 5. And that tells me an amazingly a lot about that parabola. If I know where the focus is, and I know where the if I know where the focus and the vertex, gosh, I know pretty much everything. It's like knowing the center of a circle and its radius. There's nothing you cannot figure out if you know the vertex and the focus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, hold on a second. Dominic, I think no, we're good. We're going from 3 to 3:30. Okay. I thought I was 10 minutes late for my next appointment. I'm 20 minutes early.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at this one. Circles are easy, really easy. The only thing you have to know is the general format. Do they give you a cheat sheet on your quizzes or finals?
What, for the formulas?
Yeah.
I think he said he might not for this one, which is kind of off-putting for me, but
Okay.
I think I know circles at least, like pi r squared is the radius.
That's not the general formula of a circle.
Okay.
You should know going into your final whether or not you are allowed a sheet or not. Because if you are not allowed it, you're going to have to memorize this stuff.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, you can write it on a little note card and take it into your final. But it's important that you know one way or the other. What's the general formula of a circle? I'll get you started. X minus h plus y minus a, squared equals the radius squared. Now, there's 4 conic sections. There's parabolas, circles, ellipses, and hyperbolas. You cannot get through this section without memorizing the general formulas of each. Absolute requirement. Unless they give you a cheat sheet. In other words, if they let you take an index card into the test, well, then you can write the general formulas on that card and you don't have to memorize. But know one way or the other.
Okay.
In other words, if you have to memorize it, memorize it. If you don't have to memorize it, then I won't press it anymore. Now, in this formula, what's H? Remember, H and K are the center of the circle.
H is 3.
And K is?
And K is 4. Or K is
not 4.
It's negative 4.
Correct.
Wait, yeah, because it's negative. Minus a negative.
R is what?
And R is 16.
No, that's R
squared. No. It's 4.
Okay. That's why you need to know this general formula. If you do not know that general formula, you really can't solve this. It's no hope. Okay? So, once you know the center of the circle and the radius of the circle, then it's a piece of cake. The center of the circle is at 3 minus 4. and the radius of the circle is 4. So it must look like that.
Uh-huh.
In other words, when you're dealing with circles, there are only two things that are important. Nothing else matters. One is the center, and the other is the radius. That's it. And this general formula solves for all three. In other words, that gives you h and k, which is the center, and you can calculate r, which is the radius. All right. Let's go on here. Hold on. All right. When you have a problem like this, it's hard to go wrong by drawing a picture. Where are my endpoints?
8, 0, and 0, 8.
Okay, let's call that 8, 0. Let's call that 0, 8.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's the endpoints, which means my circle, that has to be the diameter of the circle. My circle has to look something like that. It really can't look any other way. In other words, it says with a diameter with endpoints. So I connect my two endpoints, that's the diameter of my circle. Once you know a diameter of a circle is only one way you can draw the circle.
Yeah.
Now, what are they asking for here?
I'm not sure. I have to look at the directions again.
Hold on a second.
Is it?
Find the center and the radius.
Okay. So.
Okay, let me draw my picture then.
Wait, would the center and the radius be at the same spot?
First of all I have is my diameter.
Oh wait, yeah. And forget my question. That was just.
That's the diameter of my circle. Once I've drawn the diameter, there's only one circle that can go about that.
So is the distance in units between those two dots 8?
Oh, I don't know. Hold on a second. No, actually not. That's 0, 8. That's 8, 0. So you're close. What they want is the center and the radius.
So you just have to take
center. That's just the center between 2 points.
It would be
the center of the circle.
4, 4.
Now, if that's 4, 4, what's my radius, which is the distance between that and that?
It would be 4, -4.
Need the distance formula between 2 points.
What is that again?
You know, it's the square root of the difference in the x's squared plus the difference in the y's squared. And the reason I write it like this is because I think this is actually more understandable. The technical definition is this: x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. That's the distance formula. But that's hard to remember. Very few students I have know how to remember that. But if you can kind of remember that that's the hypotenuse of a right triangle, correct?
Huh?
The distance, if I can figure out the distance between that point and that point, well, I can take half of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the two sides of that right triangle? 8 and 8.
Uh-huh.
So what's the distance formula? The distance formula for that hypotenuse is the square root of 8 squared plus 8 squared. Now, that's going to give me the diameter. And that's going to be 8 root 2. Now, I may have confused you a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Now, first of all, let's talk about what the distance formula means. The distance between 2 points, the only time it's ever difficult is if they're not on either a vertical or a horizontal line. If that's a vertical or a horizontal line, you shouldn't have any trouble coming up with it. If it's a line with slope, like this is, then the best way to figure it or look at it is that it's the hypotenuse of a right triangle. Correct? The solid black line that I have there is the hypotenuse of that triangle number 1. If I were to draw it separately, it would look like this. It would be a right triangle with sides 8 and 8.
Uh-huh.
What's this? What's the hypotenuse? If the sides are 8 and 8.
It would be a squared plus b squared. So it would be 8. It would be 64 plus 64, and then the square root of that. So
Okay.
it would be 8 root 2.
It would be 8 root 2. There are almost no skills that you can have that would be more valuable to you than being able to solve a right triangle quickly. Not by doing it the way you just did it, but quickly. And by that, I mean, I know that the hypotenuse, c, is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So in this case, it's the square root of 8 squared plus 8 squared, square root of 128, which is 8 square root 2. There are various ways you can come up with that answer. But the one thing that you're not going to want is to have to take a minute and a half to come up with it. The reason I say that is because throughout high school math, I mean all the way up to college math, the one thing you have to do almost more than anything else is to solve a right triangle. By that I mean they give you 2 sides, you have to solve for the third side. It's not always the hypotenuse. Sometimes it's the short side. But the one way you don't want to have to do it is to go all the way back to the Pythagorean theorem and say c squared equals a squared plus b squared. It takes too long. You want to be able to do it quicker because you have to do it so much. You probably have to do it 100 times. So be able to do it quickly, and that's the quick way of doing it. The hypotenuse c is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So it gets to the answer quite quickly. Now, if that's the length of the hypotenuse, what's the radius?
Whoops. The radius is it like half of the hypotenuse?
Yes, it's half the diameter. In other words, that was the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse went between that point and that point. So my radius is half that.
So it's, what, 4 root 2, or is it like even harder? Yeah, you just
that's it. That's it. 4 root 2. Okay. Now I know a lot of stuff. I know the center and I know the radius. That's all I need to know. There's absolutely nothing else I need other than the center and the radius. So tell me what the equation of this circle is.
It is the equation of it?
Well, I'm going to give you the general.
Okay.
Even though if they do not give you a cheat sheet, you need to memorize this. You're going to be stymied if you do not have this memorized. You'll have no hope on these problems. If they let you take an index card, then this is one of the ones you want to write on there. That's the equation of a circle.
Okay.
Okay.
So it would be
the x-coordinate of the center.
4. X minus 4 squared plus y minus negative 9 minus 9.
I think that's a 4 also.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay, yeah.
Just wrote it. Funny.
Squared equals 4
squared. If r is that.
No, it's just 4 root 2. Can you not do 4 root 2 squared? Wait, oh, it's just 4. It's just, wait, no. 4 root 2 squared.
So the way you square that is you square each term. Square 4,
Okay.
so that's 16. I square root 2, which is 2.
So then
Multiply them
it's
together, 32.
Okay.
So that equation is this equation, this circle that I've drawn, it's that equation, and that's the only equation. In other words, this equation cannot be drawn in any other manner than the way I've drawn it. And likewise, this circle only has one equation to it, and that's this one.
Okay, I think we got time for one more. Let's go to like the next type of problem, if we can.
Okay. Probably 6B.
Okay.
Because it requires something that we haven't worked on today, which is completing the square.
Yeah. Is that an ellipse?
No, it's a circle.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason
ellipse
it's a circle is because the coefficient of the x and the y terms are the same. Both 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's the general formula for a circle?
X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared.
So what we have to do is put that in that format.
Okay,
well,
so
the first thing we're going to do is gather all the x terms together. And then we're going to put parentheses around them because we're going to complete the square. And then I'm going to gather all the y terms together. and put parentheses around that because we're going to complete the square. Now, the most important thing to notice is that I have not changed the formula one bit. I've just rearranged it. See that?
Yeah.
Now complete the square on the left parentheses.
5 squared, so 25 plus 25.
So how do I balance that now? Because I've just changed the equation.
You have the plus 25 along the right side.
Okay.
And then
complete the square on the y term.
6. Oh wait, no, 9. 9. Plus 9.
So I add 9 over there.
Yeah. And so now
Now rewrite that as this linear factor. That's the whole reason we complete the square, is so that I can rewrite it as a linear factor. What's that linear factor squared?
Is it 10? Wait, is it x?
It's always half. In other words, when you took half of 10 and squared it, that's what the linear factor is. It's always that.
Okay.
Okay, so what's this one?
So that would be 3.
And it's minus 3.
Yeah, minus 3.
In other words, it has the sign of the middle term in both cases.
Yeah.
Now on the right side,
why'd you make it cube?
Ah, sorry, my mistake. I didn't mean to.
Just make it straight. No, it's okay. I was making sure I wasn't.
Thanks for paying attention. And the right side is 49. Now we have it in the general format of a circle. We know everything there is to know about this circle. Where's the center?
-5, 3. Or wait.
And what's the radius?
7.
That's it. That's the only. There is no other information about that circle that is worth knowing. And I mean, that's the one thing about a circle, is there's only 2 factors about it that are important. And that's where its center is and what its radius is.
I'll let you get to your next session. I'm pretty sure you're booked.
Okay, Dominic.
Wish me luck on my test tomorrow.
We have another session on, let's see, next week?
Next week, you can book me for next week on Tuesday and Thursday.
I got you down for that.
And then I think the week after that, I'm going to take you on Monday for an hour.
I'll have plenty of time available then, so you let me know then.
Yeah, I'll let you know by Thursday.
Okay.
Next week.
Sounds good.
Okay, have a good one.
Dominic, have a good week. Bye-bye.
Yep.